Namo Amituofo Buddha. Hello everyone. So a message I received about how to overcome our samsaric attachment to look, to money, to status, and someone also commented about how to overcome addiction to K-pop. So in this video, I feel like talking about how we can overcome our attachment and addiction to things that may not be the best for our spiritual growth or that could easily disturb our peace of mind in the present. So first of all, let's just admit it. It is not easy. It is not easy to let go all of our attachment. If we can all let go of our attachment, then we'll be enlightened. We will arrive at the state of arhat or arahant in Buddhism. So an arahant has no attachment whatsoever in this world. One is no longer attached to any illusions, but one is still attached to the Dharma. And then one goes up to Bodhisattva, no attachment, no separation. But because we are not there yet, we are not enlightened yet, so we will still have our attachment. This is normal. It may just vary from different degrees between different people. But this is really not easy, and I'm sure lots of us know about that. Even for long-term meditators, this could be quite challenging. But thankfully, the Buddha has really offered us with a lot of tools to help us combat our attachment. So what we can do is, although we cannot completely let go of all our attachment, but at least when we are aware of them, we can use the tools given by the Buddha to help us overcome it. And it's really a moment-to-moment adjustment. It's really a constant reminder. So there are so many meditations that the Buddha has taught us to help us expand our consciousness, expand our awareness, so we can be aware of our thoughts. When we become aware of our thoughts, then we have the ability to change our thoughts, which can change our actions, which can change our karma, change our life. So one can choose whatever meditation one feels might work the best for you. And some people ask, what do you think about Vipassana? It's great. All different kinds of meditations are great as long as you find they work for you. But I'm gonna just talk about Nianfo because that is what I practice and also that is what I share. So I found the Nianfo meditation is really one of the easiest and also one of the most effective meditation I've tried to help me overcome attachment. So whenever I'm aware of attachment arise, okay, thoughts of attachment to illusions, that's Nianfo, Amituofo, Amituofo, Amituofo. Then I just transform this attachment to the name of Amitabha Buddha. It's really easy and you don't need to sit in a certain posture. You can just do it wherever, whenever. Because our attachment, they could just come in any moment of our life, right? But with this Nianfo practice, it's so portable that you can literally just practice on the spot and you don't need anything else. You don't need a yoga mat, you don't need nothing. All you need to do is to remember to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha. And even just with 10 recitations, then you will realize your old attachment has gone. It might come back later, but that it's later. Then later you just Nianfo more. So the more we practice Nianfo, the more we keep reciting the name of Amitabha Buddha, the more we cultivate the habit of being in constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha, the less we'll be attached to other things, whether it's external situations or internal afflictions, because we are really focused on Amitabha Buddha. We are focused on infinite life and light, so we don't really bother too much about what might happen externally and also internally, right? We may have afflictions that arise, or other people, we may think they bother us and all that, but we don't care. So the thoughts can be here, but again, we just bring our focus on Amituofo, Amituofo, Amituofo. But even this is not so easy to do, because what happens is at the beginning we don't have the habit of being focused on Amituofo, because we don't just form our bad habits in one day. Therefore, we also need time to form good habits to overcome the bad habits. So with Nianfo, at the beginning, you really need some kind of a discipline. I feel for most people, we need a bit of practice to help us, to remind us to be mindful of Amitabha Buddha. Or a lot of people, they might not be able to remember, although they have the tool in them, but they will forget to use that. So at the beginning, it really takes a bit of practice, a bit of cultivation for us to remember to pick out the tool, to use it, to actually apply it in our everyday life. And that's why I put on all these 4 or 5 daily Nianfo sessions. Exactly is to help us cultivate the habit of being in constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha. So initially, it really requires a bit of effort, a bit of practice. You need to have some kind of diligence to help you cultivate the habit of being in constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha. Then at one point, you will find it's much easier. You will think about Amitabha Buddha unconsciously. Instead of being attached to other things in life that might bring you suffering and afflictions, you begin to think about Amitabha Buddha. And the more you think about Amitabha Buddha, then the less other things that could have effect on you, whatever they might be. So really, with diligence, with practice, we will get there. At one point, it will be much easier, I promise you. And that is why in the 6 parameters of the Bodhisattva path, so first is giving. By giving out more, we become less attached to our material possessions or to the ego identity. And the second is precepts. When we observe the precepts, we have more discipline. And the third is forbearance. We practice patience. And the fourth is diligence. So we need to have diligence. We actually need to cultivate diligently in order to arrive at the 5th meditation. So without diligence, one may not arrive at the state of meditation. Then after meditation, it will give rise to great wisdom, prajna or prajna, so the transcendent wisdom of shunyata, that one will be able to perceive things as they are without attachment, without separation. So yes, it does require a bit of cultivation. It requires a bit of practice and discipline. So if you want to be less attached to the samsaric world, and again, when I say non-attachment, I don't mean that one doesn't do anything. So you can still do whatever you want to do, but it's just your heart is not attached. Your heart is unconstrained. Like the Heart Sutra says, because the heart is unconstrained, one is away from delusions, and then the more free it will be. So really, with diligence, with discipline, it comes true freedom. And for Nianfo practitioners, one shall cultivate the practice diligently, not only to seek rebirth to the Pure Land, but also in the here and now. So it can help us to make our life much better, so we can be so much more at ease, at peace in every day of our life. So that is why one shall really practice Nianfo diligently. And you can also join our 4 or 5 daily sessions every day, and also our upcoming retreat on Saturday for 2 weeks to help you cultivate the habit of being in constant mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha. So yes, at the beginning it's not easy. It's not easy if we want to learn anything new or to form a good habit. It really takes time and cultivation. But when we keep doing it with persistence, with time, with patience, with diligence, we will get there. At one point, you will feel that it really becomes effortless effort, and you will just think of Amitabha Buddha automatically, and you will be less attached to other things in life that could bring you afflictions and sufferings within. So I hope this helps. Namo Amituofo Buddha. Namo Amituofo.